In this video, we are exploring a communist-era factory in Romania, with a lot of industrial equipment left behind, and what used to be a civilian security post with a bunker. Join us exploring this place and finding gas masks and similar equipments in an interesting post-apocalyptic scenery. The place we are exploring today is the abandoned part of a metalworks company, mostly specialized in parts for cars and cars engines. I will not disclose too much specific information about it, as a few hundred meters from the abandoned buildings we are exploring, some other parts of the factory still are in activity. The company was created in the end of the 19th century. Just like a lot of Romanian companies, it was nationalized in the late 1940s by the communist state run by Nicolae Ceausescu. When this regime failed in 1989, the company was privatized and later sold to an American industrial group. When the communist state fell, a lot of companies were privatized in a wild mode, typically sold for a low price to unscrupulous businessmen with the support of corrupt political leaders, just to be dismantled later to make a profit from selling the equipment on the land. Luckily, this company did not suffer the same fate, and though having known economically difficult times, it's still active today. But of course, some choices were made, and the most obsolete facilities are just left uncared, and this is what we are visiting today. This equipment was found in a room named metallography and may be related to spectral analysis of metal samples, but it looks quite antique and rudimentary for spectral analysis equipment. If you know more about it, feel free to drop a comment to tell us. A lot of metalworking machines and lathes here, very heavy and impressive pieces of machinery. I am just unable to guess what this machine is used for, so feel free to add a comment if you know what it is, but I couldn't help but compare it to a giant Gatling gun. I guess these machines are large metal stamping hydraulic presses, and here is the operating place. Can you imagine staying here all day long, feeding the press with metal parts, being cautious about your hands? It's a bit surprising to find these engines left on the ground, as the place doesn't seem littered with rubbish. Maybe these were used for testing the engine components that the factory used to produce. And here it is eventually, the most interesting part that we were looking for. The bunker, or actually not yet the bunker, but a training room dedicated to civilian defense in case of war, chemical or even nuclear attack, to introduce the use of emergency equipments and techniques to be used in these events. lot of things have been moved or removed by visitors less respectful than us, but you still can see that the place was organized for display of all sorts of equipments, methodically disposed and labeled on this shelf. This scale model for a bombing damaged building was likely used to explain what may or may not be done in such a situation. Da e bunker. Sorry for the large blurred area, but on the blackboard lays a detailed map of the factory area, which is easy to recognize for people living in Romania. The place has already seen many explorers and is not really a secret anymore, but I like better sticking to keep it hidden in my video. So why in the first place such a factory did have a bunker and a civilian defense school? In the communist era during the Cold War period, the risk of a nuclear war was high, and in communist countries, paranoia and propaganda were high about a possible nuclear attack from the West. This is why being ready for such an event was an important part of local culture, leading to most residential buildings and companies having bunkers to protect residents and workers. You can see something similar in Chernobyl, with all the gas masks left behind, and the nuclear war education boards in school. Most of these installations have fallen into disuse after the fall of communism, but with recent events, authorities try to check these places again and see if they can be used if needed.
Ah, wow.
Ce?
Aici e rezerva cu casti, cu maschi și cu haine. E un calendar de 2002. Dar 2000, e un calendar de 2002, dar 2002 e acum 10 ani, 20 ani.
We have seen it all now. What will happen next with this place? Likely, the industrial machines will be sold, maybe as scrap metal, and the buildings will be destroyed to sell the land. The civilian defense school and the bunker are not considered of any value and will disappear under the bulldozer's shovel. This is sad, as these artifacts have some historical meaning and should be preserved in a museum. Let's hope that someone will join the idea. This is all I have for you today. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe. And as always, have a nice day.